So let's talk about some of the encoders and the different stuff available. We're starting with the Epiphan AVIO grabbers because we've already seen some huge opportunities going into schools throughout the country with these.
Yeah, we've seen people looking for hundreds of these at a time, where basically what they're trying to do is get standard cameras or PTZ cameras that simply have SDI or HDMI outputs into a laptop or into a video system. So it's a great converter. It's USB-C. They're rugged. They're small. They're bus powered. And they're incredibly reliable. And I really think it's important to say, can you pick it up again and just tap it and hold it up to the camera, Jim?
Yeah, this thing is rock solid.
Yeah, not only is it rock solid, but these things don't heat up. I'm going to be honest with you. There's a lot of converters out there that are cheaper, and they are cheaper. And the cheap is the word I want to use. You leave that on for a couple hours, they heat up, they stop working as well, things don't go as well. These units are built, they have heat dissipation, they don't heat up, you can run them for hours at a time. If you drop it, it's not the end of the world, it's bus powered, and PC or Mac, it lights up immediately. No drivers.
And again, we are talking about the education market. The chance of this being on a desk covered with 20 textbooks where that heat is going to become an issue. The chance of it being flown across the AV department is a huge concern.
Yep.
So when you talk about the reliability of these products, that's a story that resonates.
Yeah, and Epiphan builds these things. Their core market where they started was in commercial, hospitals, military grade stuff. That's what they're building. I mean, these converters have been on the International Space Station and out in space. They're built to incredible specs.
Absolutely. And then we're also going to talk about SlingStudio, because SlingStudio is one of the most affordable ways to create a multi-camera production system. And the great thing about the SlingStudio hub is you can even use an iPhone as a video source feeding directly into the hub, which allows even the smaller districts to tell their teachers and students that they can input video from a source that they already know how to use.
Yeah, this is great for a lecture capture situation where you need to have the professor, and maybe there's a whiteboard, but maybe there's also something like it's anatomy. So there's a human body, model that they're touching and stuff like that, where you need those multiple cameras to get, to bring the class to life. Because one thing that we've learned is when the distance learning is just you're sitting in front of a webcam, it just doesn't translate so well for the students. Live, you say, why do you need multi-cameras? Because some things just come to life a lot better. Plus, what you had talked to me earlier is some boards of ed want to put their stuff up, like ours does, and the Cam Link and a SlingStudio is a great way to go. And it's also easily...
And with that Camera Link, sorry to interrupt you, it's a wireless communication back to the hub. These schools are built out of cinder block.
Yep.
So to be able to have that wireless communication makes it very easy to set up.
And I know also, when you're going on stuff where you're, a lot of times the people operating this are volunteers or students. And SlingStudio is so easy to use. So when it comes to switchers, there are switchers in production systems that are more powerful, more expensive, and more complex. The beauty of SlingStudio is a volunteer can operate it within minutes.
Absolutely. And then the next opportunity we want to talk about is with the LiveU Solo. Now the LiveU Solo, it's important to understand that you're really getting 4 data connections: a wired network encoder, a Wi-Fi encoder, or cellular bonding with the 2 USB cellular modems.
Correct.
A school may or may not have interest in the cellular bonding. If they're going to be taking that unit out onto a football field, that sounds great. But even if they're just plugging it into the boardroom and need to stream from a classroom, it is still one of the best encoders on the market if you're plugging it directly into the network.
Yeah, and one of the advantages of cellular bonding isn't just that you could be out on a field, like a football field or in a stadium, or I shouldn't say stadium because I don't know when would that, but like a baseball field or what have you. But by being able to use the cellular bonding to bring your bandwidth with you, you can avoid some tricky firewall situations that some schools have, where the school won't allow the video to directly go out to, let's say, YouTube or Facebook, but you want the video to go out to YouTube or Facebook.
Absolutely.
Someone's not there to reset the firewall for you, or it's too complicated. You can directly go to Facebook or YouTube from the LiveU Solo. And a lot of people will use the Solo as their encoder on the output of their production system.
Sure.
So they may have a vMix or a TriCast or a Wirecast system. They'll go to the LiveU Solo to take advantage of cellular bonding to bring it up, because cellular bonding lets you bring your bandwidth with you wherever you go.
Absolutely, and I'm sure we have dealers who have had experience trying to access networks inside these schools. They can be some of the trickiest networks to get up and running and to keep a reliable, stable signal. held together.
Absolutely.
And that's where the LiveU Solo really fits in great.